Are the parachute teams shaky starts just the regular in window new manager in 3 cases teething problems? Or do you think they might continue to struggle and a non-parachute team will genuinely finish in the top 2? If so, who is most likely? And which parachute team is most likely to get their act together? Cheers for the great content during the window early season. This is a great question, isn't it? It's a great topic that we've been going round and round on in the EFL Championship. First of all, I think what colours this topic is a lot of people hope this will happen. In the same way, a lot of people hope like at least one and fingers crossed 2 of Burnley and Leeds and Sunderland can stay up, because we got a problem if this keeps happening, this boring chasms in English football. I think a lot of people want it to happen, and they are rooting against the parachute teams. And yeah, I'll be completely blindly honest, I've done it myself. I've thought, oh, come on. You got the most money, the best players, all the advantages that brings. Can we at least have a bit of an underdog winner? And it's not just the British love for the underdog. It's that we want it to be competitive. We want it to be fun. You know, we want it to be unpredictable. And it's all about the dream, isn't it? Take someone like Preston. It's all about the dream that if Preston get the right managerial hire, who coaches really well, they make the right signings with whatever budget they've got, they get a good start to the season, that they can have the lightning in a bottle. Well, it shouldn't have to be a lightning in a bottle, should it? That's what I'm saying. That's my whole point. If they get all their things online, that they should be able to get promoted from this division. And it shouldn't be, no, if Preston get everything online, they might finish 12th and that'll be a good season. Or they might finish 8th and outside the playoffs, or whatever the number is. So specifically this season, and Wilby asks, is it just the August stuff? It may be just the August stuff. And we may be sat here in November with Ipswich, Leicester, Southampton, Sheffield United all been cracking out 2 points per game for 10, 12 games. All up in the top 6 and, you know, shaping up for it to be 4 of them in the top 6 when the season finishes. And let's be honest, that's the kind of expectation for parachute teams, isn't it? That your top 6 should contain all 4 of those sides. Is it just the normal team? But I don't know. It feels a little bit different this season, doesn't it? I think the disruption caused by Wrexham and Birmingham is a factor, isn't it? When you look at the transfer window, the top 10 highest fees in the transfer window, 4 of them were Ipswich, 4 of them were Southampton. Obviously, Leicester have got their own issues, which does parlay into this conversation as well. And then the other 2 were Wrexham and Birmingham. So, hey, maybe that moves things along. And then you're looking at, well, to start the season, you're looking at Coventry and you're looking at Middlesbrough. You're looking at Stoke. They're the teams that are up there. I suggested Norwich at the start of the season had done a lot, and that could work out. And then you're kind of into the realms of, would anybody else? I mean, Bristol City got in there last year and finished 6th, didn't they? You are into the realms of anyone else outside of those teams. You mentioned Wrexham and Birmingham, obviously I include them. Would that be a surprise or a big surprise? It starts to then be a big surprise, doesn't it? So, I don't know. It does feel like there's something in the air this season, that it is going to be different. That maybe the non-parachute teams are kind of like, no, you know, we feel we can do it. And if they feel they can beat these teams and take points off them, then that makes all the difference. And it does need the other 20 teams to really have a crack at it and really, you know, really get some results to pull the league together, rather than having 4 teams just sort of dominating right up at the top. Obviously, we did get Ipswich breaking it in 23-24, didn't we? Sunderland won through in the end, didn't they? Beat the parachute team in Sheffield United in the playoff final. So specifically, I mean, surely Ipswich and Southampton should come good, shouldn't they? surely, if you look at the squads, I suppose Will still is a rookie manager at the level. That could slow Southampton down. Don't know. Got a good squad. Signed well. Azaz and Fellows look good. Ipswich, I mean, the danger for Ipswich, there's two dangers. One is that there's just been way, way too much change. And it's going to take more than a season to knit the team together. The other is that how much of Kieran McKenna's double promotion run was intangibles, was momentum, good feeling, winning run, just keeping going and going and going. And is that toothpaste out of the tube? And can they get it back? Obviously, Leicester could get a points deduction. Could get a big points deduction. We'll see. And that could certainly keep them out of the top two. And Sheffield United have just started so badly that you do get to the point where if it's a 90-point plus standard as well to reach the top two, I mean, if Sheffield United were to lose to Ipswich in the next game, which is a big game, isn't it? It'd be 5 games, 0 points. I mean, we can do the maths really, really quickly. I will whip out my phone and let's call it 90 points. And they've got 41 games then to do it. 2.19 points per game for 41 games. No room for error. For error. No margin for error. So it definitely could happen. And who's most likely? Well, if you're following the money, it's Birmingham and Wrexham who could get in there. I would say Birmingham are the more likely of the two. Wrexham have started a little bit slower. And I don't know, I just see Birmingham in terms of the pattern of play as well being a little step ahead of Wrexham so far. But I like Wrexham's transfer window. And then out of the others, Middlesbrough, Stoke, Norwich. Shall we just deploy the cheat code? So I'm going to put Stoke to one side. Look, if Stoke were in the top 10, they'd be happy with that, wouldn't they? After years of being in 16th or whatever it is. Let's deploy the cheat codes. Can Middlesbrough get Hackney out 40 times this season? Can Norwich get Sargent out 40 times this season? Does that give them a better chance than Stoke? And then there's Coventry, who are touching that number, 1.8, 1.9 points per game under Frank Lampard. Can they just keep going? Just keep going. And all of those clubs have got to hope that it's not 90 points that you need. Ipswich managed to do it in that it was made the Ipswich promotion in 23-24 all the more incredible that they scored 96 points to do it, which is absurd, utterly absurd. Let's see if the total comes down around 85. Then, if you're Middlesbrough, Norwich, Coventry, Stoke, Wrexham, Birmingham, those are the teams I keep mentioning. Throw any others in you want in the comments. You know, maybe any of those could take top two. Be fascinating to watch. And look, if I put my completely biased Ipswich Town fan hat on, I hope it goes with the money and it's the parachute teams, which means Ipswich will be in the top 4 and hopefully in the top 2. If I go with my more reasoned, less selfish YouTuber who loves the division hat, then of course you don't want these advantages to be the only thing that matters in the table. And, you know, for these past couple of seasons, Burnley 100, Leeds 100, Sheffield United 92 on pitch, and obviously Leicester 97, Ipswich 96. Wow. Was it Leeds 90, Southampton 88, 86? Can't remember what Southampton got, but massive totals for all of those teams over the past couple of seasons. Let me know if Wilby is right. Is something brewing? Are we ready for a surprise promotion in the Championship this season?